4 goals. Moving on, things couldn't have gone much worse for Jadon Sancho at Man United. Yeah, it would have been hard to outdo his Borussia Dortmund form, but 12 goals in 83 games is not great. Things got worse after a public fallout with manager Erik ten Hag. Sancho said he was being made a scapegoat. Ten Hag said there'd been a discipline issue. It all ended up with Sancho going back to Germany. Next, Erik ten Hag probably thought he was being smart in sticking to what he knew when he signed Antony from his former club Ajax. But the £86 million Brazilian hasn't really been able to hack it in the Prem. Chances are Antony's Man United days are numbered. Next, the curse of the Man United number 7 shirt. Not an easy act following Ronaldo, Cantona, Beckham and George Best, but Memphis Depay was another striker who was apparently allergic to scoring for United. He scored just 7 in 53 appearances, a huge letdown since he'd helped PSV win the Dutch league just a season before joining. Last one, Angel Di Maria was set to be United's landmark signing when he joined in 2014, but one season later he was already on his way out. 4 goals in 32 games was just not good enough, given he'd broken the British record transfer fee when he signed. And those are just a few examples. To be honest, the list could go on and on. Unfortunately, that's probably why Man United haven't won the Prem for a while, and why it might take a few more years before they're in contention again.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the world's biggest sports radio station. It is TalkSport. My name is Max Rushden. Alongside me, Barry Glendenning. And this is the warm-up. And this is exciting, Barry, because you and I haven't spoken this morning in attempts to keep the show fresh. When I ask you, how are you, I mean it in a not just in a showbiz way, but in a real way, because I'm yet to speak to you today, apart from that tiny bit before the news that doesn't count. So, Barry, how are you?
Are you saying the tiny bit before the news doesn't count? Because what you said in the tiny bit scared me. You suggested that we have some revolutionary new idea for today's show that I'm unaware of because we haven't spoken about today's show.
Well, maybe really. The new idea.
We're winging it, Max. We're living on the edge.
Don't peel back the curtain too far, Barry. But maybe the new idea is that we haven't spoken, and so that this is real, right? A lot of broadcasting isn't real, but right now this is real.
This is visceral. It's raw.
You can put your hands into the radio and pull out the organic, real, fresh broadcasting that is happening right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see in our eyes that this is the first time that they have locked today. And what you are witnessing is the true love and chemistry that only Kevin Hart and Heidi Klum have. And that if we can recreate that in some way. Did you watch the draw, Barry? I mean, there's lots to talk about. There's the cricket, there's Salah. But did you watch the draw?
I watched every minute of the draw, yes, Max. I couldn't look away.
Did you spend the day in therapy yesterday? I mean, it was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Well, I thought Kevin Hart, it started at the top. I thought Kevin Hart and Heidi Klum had quite reasonably good chemistry.
Really?
But the disparity in height between them, because Heidi Klum used to be a supermodel, so she's tall, and Kevin Hart is a famously diminutive man.
He is.
But there seems to be a law in America, or it's written into the American Constitution, that any awards or any glamorous and glitzy ceremony that is being staged in the United States of America has to be co-hosted by Kevin Hart. Now, he's quite an amusing man. He's a safe pair of hands. Bad. I believe you've met him back in the Soccer AM glory days.
Yeah, of course.
And, so I thought they were okay. The humour was...
I thought they were terrible.
Forced.
I thought they were absolutely terrible. Like, it was so scripted, and when they went off script, everyone just panicked.
Yeah.
You know, and like we obviously have a script that we stick to exactly.
Yes,
and,
word for word.
Those in glass houses can't throw stones before you get in touch. But I really like scripted. I can't believe you said that. Hang on, let me check. What did you say, Barry? I can't believe it. Right now? Okay, if I must.
I'm judging them by the standards of a FIFA World Cup draw, not by normal comedy standards. Okay?
Got it, okay, fine.
And then you had the musical turns, so the ballad, or Andreas Bocelli, Bocelli.
He's fine.
He's fine. He can't do any wrong singing that
big
song.
Big tick for Nessun Dorma. You're fine.
Big tick for Nessun Dorma. But after Nessun Dorma, it did go quickly downhill. Robbie Williams and Nicole Scherzinger, perfectly serviceable power ballad. Not my cup of tea.
They're not going to be singing it in the stands, are they?
Yeah, but they pretty much walked off to the sound of their own feet.
The fact that Robbie had to go, do I go now? I think we just
Are we done? Is it tapping the mic? Is this thing on?
Do I take my leather hand, hold all of cash now? Do I have to stay for nibbles, or just can I get in the car?
Then you had Lauryn Hill, and I think two of her sons rapping. I heard you mention yesterday on the show with Charlie that someone had tweeted, why is Lauryn Hill wearing the Alliance Arena on her head? Which really tickled me. Her big red Alliance Arena shaped hat. And she was game. She tried her best to get something out of this crowd of middle-aged men.
Ronald Koeman sitting there going, I don't need this. I just want to know who we've got.
Yeah. So, despite her best attempts to get the crowd going, she got nothing except what one imagines a large hold-all of cash. And then the closer, Village People, I mean, not even a room full of FIFA delegates and National Football Association delegates, not even they can resist YMCA. I mean, they are human. So, Village People finally, and I think it might have also been just relief that this meant the whole thing is over, and now it's time for canapes and afternoon drinks. But and then we had the draw with Rio Ferdinand and Samantha Johnson, I think her name was, and Rio was in charge of the rules, the various caveats and conditions that meant
permutations man.
And he seemed to be the only person in the entire room who knew what was going on. So for that, I'm not Rio Ferdinand's biggest fan. I thought the interview he gave to the BBC in the run-up to the ceremony was pathetic, where he point blank not only refused to address the extortionate price of ticket prices for the World Cup, but tried to pretend that FIFA were aware of these extortionate prices and were doing something about had plans to do something. And his argument seemed to be, well, World Cup tickets might be expensive, but a private yacht is also expensive, so that's fine.
I think it was, oh no, I've been asked a question I don't really know the answer to. Maybe if I talk for a minute, it'll go away.
Yeah.
That was the vibe
and that's
I
kind
got.
of what happened.
Yeah.
To the man of the people. So I thought he did a good job because, he was obviously reading off a tablet, but he did a good job in trying to explain a very complicated process. But yeah, some of the banter in inverted commas between him and Samantha and Joey Ramirez.
Joey Tribbiani, I think it was.
Hey, how are you doing?
He might have done. He might as well, because they threw to Joey Tribbiani, and then he just sort of said to Maya Yoshida, "How are you doing?" And Maya Yoshida would say, "I'm fine, thanks. Back to you, Rio." Until he started to try and have a bit of banter that was not scripted, and then they were like, "I don't think this is working, guys. Can we just get on with the draw?" And then, of course, Wayne Gretzky. Shaquille O'Neal, who was really not going at the right pace, you know.
Shaquille O'Neal was quite happy to, he didn't even pretend to know what he was doing there. Oh, and of course, I've forgotten the two main men, Gianni and Trump. I mean, that was extraordinary. The obsequiousness on show there when Gianni spoke on all our behalf, on behalf of all of us football fans, Max. He told Trump, "You can do whatever you want, and we've got your back, Donald." And I don't know about you, Gianni wasn't speaking for me there.
No, he doesn't. Well, he certainly hadn't called me before to check. I'll say that. Yeah, it was.
So that was revolting. But I mean, the rest of it was quite funny. The draw was interesting enough. I mean, the number of teams means there's no real standout group of death.
Yeah, I think you're right.
What are you happy enough with the England one?
I would have preferred a couple. I would have preferred two inverted commas bankers, but I think it's probably good to be tested in the group as long as we get through. But I presume we should. I'm not plotting that. Others have plotted the route to the final. I'm not playing that game anymore.
Well, as an Ireland fan, I'm still plotting our route to Group C. I think it is, or B. I can't remember. And I'm not holding out a huge amount of hope.
You haven't mentioned Wayne Gretzky yet, who obviously stole the show by not being able to pronounce it. Half of the countries that were in his little pot seemed very disappointed that he had all the countries, because he had all the group. This is one of four teams. Was sort of frustrated with Shaquille O'Neal, and Samantha Johnson just had to spend the whole time going, "You're doing really well, Shaq. There. You're doing great."
The disparity. Sorry, yes. I meant to say earlier, the disparity in height between Kevin Hart and Heidi Klum. It was like a reverse 1989 Brit Awards when Mick Fleetwood did it with Samantha Fox, except he was the really tall one and Samantha was the very short co-presenter. So, it was something of a... It was like a fever dream, really, in parts. But I think so. I quite enjoyed it. It did go on a bit too long, but it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, many people say exactly the same thing about this show, don't they?
Yes.
It went on long a bit too long, but it was okay. The Sizzler writes, "Morning, Max and Barry. Is there any truth in the rumour that Baz has been speaking to Norwegian journalists, possibly Lars, feeling that he's being singled out because last week's show was postponed due to an early kickoff and is now asking for Glendenning to listen in today, as it could well be his last show?" Well, we'll do a Premier League review next, and I presume we'll start with Mo Salah. It's the warm-up on TalkSport with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
almost ready to go. Ian Danter here in the commentary box. But it is all about whether Dean Saunders can retain the TalkSport World Championship. To win the leg. She's got it! Gets it! Double nine! He refuses the handshake.
Morning all, it is the warm-up on TalkSport. Max and Barry with you until 1:30. No time to waste, let's do a Premier League review, everybody.
Max and Barry's Premier League review on TalkSport.
Should we start at Elland Road? Barry leads to
Why not?
Liverpool
It
3.
seems to be the game and game aftermath that everyone is talking about.
Yes, great tweet from Adam Hurrey at Football Cliches. Believe we are on course for a world record Carragerian pause before his Monday Night Football take on Salah's outbursts. Should we start with the Salah bit? I mean, the game was great, and I'd love to talk about the game. I suppose the Salah story is the one that is leading everywhere. He spoke to a Norwegian journalist. Can't believe their luck, this Norwegian journalist. He probably said, "How you feeling, Mo?" And he went on this incredibly long, I probably don't need to read all of it, do I? But I think for the first time in my career, I'm very, very disappointed, to be fair. I've done so much for this club down the years, especially last season. Now I'm sitting on the bench. I don't know why. It seems like the club has thrown me under the bus. That's how I'm feeling. I think it's very clear that someone wanted me to get all the blame. I don't have a relationship with the manager anymore, he says. I rang my mum yesterday. You guys didn't know if I would start or not, but I knew. And yesterday I said, come to the Brighton game. I don't know if I'm going to play or not, but I'm going to enjoy it. Because it might be his last game for Liverpool. I don't know. I did like the bit about Carragher. He says, tomorrow Carragher is going to go for me again and again, and that's fine, amongst other things. What did you...
Well, the thing is, I think Jamie Carragher's big criticism of Mo Salah is that he hasn't come out and done any interviews, so he's done what Carragher wanted.
It's true.
So Jamie can't really have any complaints. I'm not sure that's quite what Jamie was hoping he might say in his first interview, but he certainly has come out. Scorched earth, I think. What did I make of it? I can kind of understand why he feels like he's being scapegoated, because for a senior player like him, who has done so much for Liverpool, to be dropped, it's quite a public humiliation for him. You would imagine that's how he feels. And he's sitting on the bench looking out on the field at various players who are also hideously underperforming for Liverpool, but who keep getting picked. Now, I suppose the argument there is that they're more indispensable than he, because there are no ready replacements, whereas he can be taken out and it's easier to fill his position. It's undeniable he hasn't it is a fact that he has been playing badly this season. I think Arne Slot could make a very valid case or argument that he left him there longer than perhaps he should have before taking him out of the firing line and dropping him. But I think it's important to note as well, Salah spoke for, I think, 8 minutes last night. He didn't raise his voice. He wasn't ranting and raving. It was a very measured, kind of amicable chat with this Norwegian bloke. But the fact of the matter is, Liverpool are in a slump. Things are not going well at Anfield, and this is the last thing they need. And he knows that. So for him to come out and make this all about him, it does smack of selfishness and a bit of lack of respect. Now, this is not something that should be aired in public. It should be said behind closed doors to his employers. He might have said it behind closed doors to his employers and been ignored. We don't know. We'll find out, I suppose, in due course. But I would expect him now to be left out of the Liverpool's travelling party to Inter, or certainly out of the team. He might be brought along. But because if Slot picks him for that game now, he'll look very weak.
To take him out from under the bus. I mean, look, the facetious way is to go, I'd love to get 400 grand a week. I'd be thrown under the bus. If the head of TalkSport wants to give me 400 grand a week and take me off air, then I'm up for it. Or
I presumed you were getting 400 grand a week.
God, this is
same as me.
In mitigation, the only thing I will say, I think it is ridiculous, and obviously you don't do it in public, is, and this will sound ridiculous because it is different. But if you play any level of football and you're on the bench and you don't get on, and I don't think it probably hasn't happened to me. It probably happened to me once, right? Or I've only come on for like 5 minutes. You are raging. You are absolutely raging. Now, obviously, it's a squad game and he's a professional footballer. And clearly, I don't think he should talk, to any journalist, right, about this. But those thoughts, I wonder if you interviewed him now, on a Sunday morning when he's, presumably in quite an expensive pair of tracksuit trousers, listening to us or watching us on YouTube, I imagine, on a big sofa, he'd probably be slightly more measured about what he says. But maybe it's the end, and if it is, he's been really brilliant for Liverpool.
Max. I think it was a very calculated move on his part.
Fair enough. Because he's done it before.
And he very, very rarely stops to give those kind of flash interviews. So
okay.
If he does so, it's for a reason.
Yeah,
and last night, and it's usually airing of grievances.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I suppose the interesting thing is, he isn't playing very well, and one of the best things about the Premier League or about football is reputation counts for nothing. It doesn't matter how good you were last year or how good you were last week.
It does if you're Ibrahim Konate, I would argue. Or Alexis McAllister, or Virgil van Dijk.
Well,
or Cody Gakpo.
No, I think McAllister's dummy for the Szoboszlai goal was absolutely beautiful. It was actually the nicest part of the game. Anyway,
well, the thing is, at the start of the season, Liverpool, when you remember that time when Liverpool were playing badly and winning, Salah wasn't playing well during those games. But as far as I can remember, he was chipping in with goals and assists, even though he was.
Scored 4
and he used the example of Harry Kane last night. Saying, Harry Kane went 10 games without scoring a goal. There was no one calling for him to be dropped. But the thing is, Harry Kane, when he's not scoring, is doing other things. He's helping out in other areas. Mm-hmm. If Mo Salah is not scoring goals or providing assists, he's just, dead weight. He's taking up space on the pitch that could be used by someone who will put in more of a shift. Now, I don't want to slag off Mo Salah. I think he deserves a certain amount of special treatment, but he doesn't automatically deserve to be in the Liverpool team on the back of past achievements, because if that is the case, as many people have pointed out, Kenny Dalglish and Ian Rush will be playing for them on Tuesday night against City.
Alan Hansen probably should be instead of Konate, shouldn't he? If we're being honest. But anyway, it was a great game. It was a great game. And actually, Leeds, who are no part of the conversation now, to get 4 points off City, Chelsea and Liverpool, to have those 3 in a row, to get 4 points out of that, and probably deserve more considering they were done in the last minute at City. Okay, they got a last-minute equaliser here. Maybe that evens itself out. It's great. And Daniel Farke, I'm such a huge fan of, mainly because he's so softly spoken. Like the most softly spoken football manager by about factor of 1 million. Like there's just no one that comes close in just how measured he is.
Sean
And when
Dyche?
he said, yeah, thank you. When he said, I'm just going to have a nice coffee and cake tomorrow, it was just so perfect, wasn't it? He's going to a tea room. He's going to old Betty's tea room to have a coffee and a cake.
Well, he's in the right part of the country, I think,
isn't he? And they did play, like to come back from 2-0 down, I thought was so impressive from them. I know that Liverpool are so frail, and Konate is having a terrible season. I can see he's trying to block the cross from Nonto. It just looks so silly, doesn't it? Because one man is standing there and another just slides through and just knocks him over. I think, Curtis Jones, who actually did some good things, but he makes it far too easy for Stack to get that equaliser. And then, as they pointed out, match of the day, quite what Ryan Gravenberch is doing at the end, instead of just heading the ball away at the corner. I don't know, but it was a brilliant game, and I was pleased that on match of the day, Dion Dublin mentioned Jota, and we mentioned it a lot, and that doesn't. It doesn't mean everything for their form or whatever, but I just think it will affect all these people, and it is affecting their mind and the way they play, and there is no doubt about that.
I mean, there was the Hillsborough news as well, and that that's a cloud that's been over that club for over 30 years now. So it's been definitively decided that nobody will be punished for what happened at Hillsborough, and it was revealed that if those officers who have since retired and or in some cases died, or retired and then died, if they were still serving, loads of them, and these are senior officers, would have faced gross misconduct charges. So there's a lot going on around Liverpool at the moment. Yeah,
and actually it's important you bring that up because, of all the things that have happened, certainly this week, the fact that 96 and 97 will never get justice is a complete outrage. And the statement from
I could not believe that. I just couldn't believe it.
Quite incredible, wasn't it?
Tone deaf.
Yeah. Anyway, it is the warm up on TalkSport. We'll do some more Premier League review in a second. TalkSport has teamed up with Pitch Experiences to bring you an all-out VIP experience at the PDC World Darts Championship at Ali Pali on the 23rd of December. You and three mates could be living it large with platinum seats, fine dining, a complimentary bar, exclusive access to the 501 Lounge with Russ the Voice Spray, then straight to your prime table for the best view in the house as the darts unfolds. Get ready for an unforgettable Ali Pali Christmas. To enter, text DARTS to 83338. Text costs £2. plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 421 7508. Lines close 4 p.m. 18th of December. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. So for your chance to win, text the word DARTS to 83338 now. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's, if they're longer than those, amazing, at talksport.com. Where should we go now? To Villa Park, Barry?
Yeah, I thought this game between Aston Villa and Arsenal was terrific. There was two brilliant games yesterday, Leeds, Liverpool, and this one, topping and tailing the day's action.
Yeah, and like the noise, actually, the noise at the end at Elland Road was matched by the noise in the whole end, wasn't it? At the end. And what a great League Two goalman scramble. Tielemans, Buendia, Kamara, Buendia again. You just sort of, I think if you're an Arsenal defender or an Arsenal fan, you're just thinking, okay, they've cleared it. Okay, saved it. Okay, it's fine.
Block,
it's
save,
not going to go in. Right. And then suddenly, just for that ball to, and I think they deserved it, Villa. I mean, of course, there is so much luck involved in a ball just rolling perfectly to the side foot of, one of your best players in that moment. And
well, to be fair, Camera did pick him out. It was a pass. It wasn't like a lucky deflection. And I think Buendia, he could have just blasted that and it wouldn't have gone in, but he deliberately lifted it so that it did avoid. Like, it was like the set of Reservoir Dogs. Just bodies lying everywhere. And he lifted the ball and placed it perfectly. So he kind of kept his head while all around them were losing theirs. It was total chaos in that penalty area.
Yeah. But it had been building, hadn't it?
Yeah, and it was a wonderful end to a brilliant match. I mean, even without that, it would have been a brilliant game. And I do think Villa probably just about deserved it. And I think even in his post-match interview, Arteta took it on the chin. He had no complaints. He didn't. And because I don't think Arsenal played particularly badly. In fact, they didn't play badly at all. Sometimes you can play well and lose. And I think that's what happened here.
I think that's an interesting point you make, and I have made the same point, hence why I think it's interesting about Arteta. And I think, and why I think Arsenal will still win the league, a big part of it is just how measured he has been through victory and defeat and dropping and, drawing games or whatever. He was so measured at the end, sort of like a cold-blooded assassin.
If anything, Clive, he was too measured.
Yeah, the trouble is he's not emotional enough. That's the criticism now of Arsenal. He's not saying disgracia, whatever. I think you're absolutely right. He was just like, hey, we lost the game. We'll go again. It's fine. They're in a brilliant position. I think he knows. And of course, City are the ones, aren't they? Because Villa are third, and if Villa win the league, well done. But I don't think anyone thinks they're going to win the league. And it's so tight down there.
The thought of, sorry for interrupting you, the thought of Villa winning the league had not crossed my mind until before this game yesterday, when I looked at the table and went, hold on a second, if Villa win this, they're only, 3 points behind? And they're on such a brilliant run. But, yeah, Villa have never won the league in my lifetime, I think, unless I'm mistaken. Did they win it in the early 80s?
European Cup. Early
Okay.
80s. Someone yell at us.
Well, they must have won the league then if they were in the European Cup. So anyway, look, it doesn't matter. I am not conditioned to conceive of Villa winning the league. It wouldn't be as preposterous as Leicester winning the league, but it would be slightly preposterous. But Unai Emery is he's no mug.
No, you're absolutely right. Especially the start, after the start they had. And there were a few questions. And, they were worried about having not bought any players, etc., etc. But, they've got some great players. I know you love Tielemans. And he had an absolutely brilliant game.
Brilliant,
and what they did was they didn't tear Arsenal apart, but they did more than most teams have done against Arsenal. In this whole season, basically, haven't they? And so I was really impressed. Yes, they won the top flight in 1980-81, the old First Division, and then they went on to play in the European Cup, of course. So our apologies. So in our lifetime, I confess I don't remember it as a 2-year-old, but there we are.
I was 8. I should remember.
Yeah, you should remember.
Just one thing about that Villa winner. I presume I'm not the only person. I was just waiting for VAR to chalk it off. Because I'm trying to figure out what the hell just happened amidst all this chaos. VAR have they're going to find something to rule out that goal and absolutely ruin everything, unless you're an Arsenal fan. But hats off to Darren England. He didn't.
Yes, well done, Darren. Raoul looks good, doesn't he? He must dye his hair. What's Raoul using? Because, he must be, 10 years older than me? And I'm white as a sheet. What's happened? I haven't done a day's work in my life. I mean, maybe Raoul hasn't either, but he's done a lot of training. But yeah, lovely hair that Raoul still has. Look, Villa did play well. I think Ollie Watkins, he's on form, isn't he? Like, you can see he is brilliant, but not quite elite. When he has those chances, he snatches at it and lacks a bit of composure. Matty Cash kicked the ball very hard. I don't think you can blame Raya for that. He made a really good save from someone else, didn't he? And Martinez made a great save from Odegaard, maybe, was it? I'm not sure. But anyway, well done to Villa. City won 3-0. Now, before Pep had talked about Ryan Cherki, I had written that I don't like Rabonas. I don't like them because most of the time, almost all the time, you can just use the other foot. So just use your left foot. And sometimes your balance is such that you can only Rabona it. In which case, I obviously can't do that. So I just stand there and lose the ball. But, it is a skill that maybe you need. But afterwards, Pep was like, look, Messi does this. Messi never Rabona'd it. So why is Cherki Rabona'ing it? In fact, he almost got a better assist about 5 minutes before that for Haaland. When he's got this amazing balance. And Haaland really should have scored. But I'm just putting it out there that I don't like Rabonas. I'm happy to admit that they are great pieces of skill, but I don't like them.
I don't have particularly strong feelings about Rabonas. I'm kind of indifferent to them. I do remember the famous David Dunn Rabona.
Oh, well, of course. I like that one.
Was he playing for Birmingham City?
Blackburn.
And he attempted a Rabona and just kicked his standing foot out from under himself. Which is exactly what would happen if I attempted a Rabona. And I would almost certainly dislocate my ankle. I'd be with Pep. If it works, if the cross picks out its intended target, then fine. Otherwise, it's just showing off and there's no need for it. But his Rabona side, I thought Ryan Cherki had a very, very good game. And I also admired Kelly Cates's... She seems to have very much taken up the Gary Lineker pun mantle in her role as Match of the Day revolving host. And something about it was a stuffing and there was a Cherki. Or it may not have been a stuffing, but we did have a Cherki. So, because every time I hear...
She also told it better than you.
Yeah,
I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, and she only had to tell it once. But any time I hear Cherki's name, I just think of Christmas dinner in the Carragher household. It's just...
Raoul is only 2 years older than me, it turns out. So, maybe that is his own hair.
So Raoul's younger than me?
Yeah, there we go.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Oh, well, now we know. Sunderland, look, 2-0 there, two really big chances there. Isidore lacks composure. Xhaka hits the post. Maybe that changes things because City have been vulnerable. But it was comfortable. And Ruben Diaz's strike was great. And Luke O'Nien, I think we talked about last week. Oh, no, we weren't on air, but I mentioned to you on the pod saying, so great to see him get on the pitch.
Yes.
But that was not a nice challenge. And that was pretty grim.
No, it was late and it was bad, and they were 3-0 down. There was no need for it. It was silly. The fact he's going to miss a game now. It was a second yellow rather than a straight red.
It was upgraded, I think.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yes, you're right. So it's a silly thing to do because Sunderland going to need Luke O'Nien when their African contingent head off to AFCON.
And he's the only person.
He's the only person left
that isn't going to AFCON.
So that's just daft. It's really dumb. And I have a great time for him as a player. I do remember during one of the early seasons of Sunderland Till I Die, the Netflix documentary back when Sunderland were a complete basket case banter club. They at the Stadium of Light, the seats, which were originally red, they were real washed out pink, and the owners of the club decided let's replace the seats, freshen it up. Instead of washed out pink seats, we'll have nice red seats. So they got the members of the public and fans to come in and help out. Just bring your ratchet. Here's a screwdriver and everything. Yeah. So Luke O'Nien was helping out as well, and he introduced himself to some fans. They had no idea who he was, and he seemed quite put out by that. But they know who he is now after yesterday.
Right. Yeah, no, he came across brilliant, that dog, didn't he? Adam says, can Barry do that stuffing and turkey pun again, please? Third time's the charm. It's Max and Barry here on the warm-up. We will find time to do the rest of the Premier League games. There are some other good ones. Everton are 5th. What? Pardon? How did that happen? But anyway,
I predicted Everton to go down. And
I still thought they were about 17th, but it is a tight league, isn't it? But well done to them.
Yeah, I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah, probably. It's the warm-up on TalkSport with Travis Perkins. For the latest big trade deals, head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Hi, morning. You're listening to the warm-up on TalkSport. Max and Barry with you until 1:30. I just watched the massive brawl at Bristol City Millwall at the end of the game. I don't know if you've seen it. Millwall
I think I did, yeah.
It's like an enormous rolling wall. And it's just everybody going, it's not worth it, Brian. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's rolling around, and then it stops, and then someone else, all this testosterone just running around. Anyway.
Did anyone do like a Cole Palmer and just sit away from it, just watching, going, what are you doing? What are you doing?
There was one player, but I think maybe he had cramp. I'm not sure. But there were definitely two on the floor, and one saw it and went, I'm having a bit of this. And there we are. Anyway, let's look at the latest odds ahead of today's action with William Hill.
In the Zone on TalkSport. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18 plus gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Lee Phelps joined us. Hey, Lee.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, very good. Where do you want to start today?
Final One Standing. We are now into round 16. Once this round is over, once Man United have played tomorrow, once the games are over with today, this is a £500,000 game. It won't end. Over 60% went through yesterday with Everton, Newcastle, Spurs all winning at home. So, yeah, it rolls on. Obviously, a few games to go this round. But, we're whittling down bit by bit.
How many people are left in it, Lee? Like, how many people are we talking?
Yeah, just under 1,000 of the original game. But we've got, like, so many games going on that there's, like, in some of them, like the £50,000 games, there's, like, 30 left. But we are getting down to crunch time. But
in the big one, eventually everyone has to pick Wolves, don't they? Like you eventually at week 20 have to pick Wolves.
And Burnley. Yeah. We're getting down to that point, fun. I think, where Burnley and Wolves will have to be picked. And then you're relying on just a standout performance from one of them because they don't seem to be able to win a game, either of them.
But
so,
sadly,
getting down to it.
Sadly, you don't do, if everyone goes out, everyone's back in. Yeah. Because that's how these games should work. What did yesterday's results do to the title race for you?
Well, Arsenal kind of biggest price they've been for a few weeks now, 8-11, so still odds on to win the title. Man City under 2-1 at 7-4. And Villa were the biggest movers. There were, you two have just been talking about it. There was 66-1 before that game, 25-1 to win the title now. It's the same price as Liverpool. I think, as Barry said, it's highly unlikely they do that. But obviously, there's a reaction to the place in the table and where they are, and they're playing really well. Unai Emery has won more games as an Aston Villa manager in the Premier League than any other. I think it's 63 games he's won now. So, the best Villa manager in the Premier League era as it stands at the moment. They've obviously moved in Villa for the top 5 positions as well. They're now 8-13, just a smidgen bigger than Chelsea. So, yeah, quite a lot of change there. I love the idea of the waiting on VAR, by the way, Barry. On the replay, I was counting each thing that happened and going, that's okay. I felt like a school teacher. That's all right. Yeah, no, okay. He hasn't done anything wrong there. That's not a handball. Like, what am I doing?
So it wasn't just me.
No, enjoy the moment, but you can't do that anymore, can you? So, but yeah, so quite a lot of changes, really, I think.
Yeah, where's Mo Salah going to be playing, do you reckon? And when?
Well, yeah, we've got a market out for him to sign for a club by February the 3rd, 2026, end of the transfer window. This is obviously, if he stays at Liverpool, he stays at Liverpool. Well, any Saudi Arabia club is 1-6. PSG 9-2, 8-1 for any MLS club, 10-1 Real Madrid, 12's Inter Milan, 16's Napoli, and 16's Bayern Munich. I mean, obviously the 1-6 on any Saudi club is the most obvious if he does go after the AFCON.
A couple of games today. I mean, I'm not sure. This is how Super Sunday is it? That's not fair, is it? Brighton, West Ham, and Fulham Palace. But you did look going, that's an interesting Sunday.
We love all Premier League clubs.
They could both be classics.
Yes, they probably could be. Look at Brighton's game in the week. A 7-goal thriller, of course, at home. In fact, that's the only game they've lost at home this season. So they're 4-7. It's short enough, but I think it's fair enough against the West Ham side who've only won once away from home. West Ham are 9-2, by the way. And there's a couple of epic boosts on these two games. The one on this one is Danny Welbeck to score. That's 6-4. Should be 8-11. He's got 7 in 14 in the league. No goal in 2. So if you like doing your betting by your maths, then he averages 1 in 2 and he's due 1 on that score. Impact sub applies to that as well. And in the other game, Fulham 13-8 to beat Palace, who were 7-4. So pretty tight there in the betting between those two. 11-5 the draw. Another epic boost here. Jean-Philippe Mateta to score, also 6-4, and impact sub applies. He's also got 7 in 14 in the Premier League. So a couple of decent epic boosts there. I think Palace, they're just starting to look a little leggy, aren't they? That Man United game, obviously got a great win in midweek away from home, but you just wonder if it's a good opportunity for Fulham. Got Aka boosts on your football today. You need 4 or more picks to activate that. Bet builders on your football, on your racing. We've also got best odds guaranteed and extra places, and on your NFL as well. So plenty to get stuck into.
Good stuff, Lee. Thanks for coming on, pal.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
That is Odds, brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. GambleAware.org.
In the Zone on TalkSport. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18+. GambleAware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Before I get yelled at, I'll take it back. Fulham and Palace are actually 2 very exciting teams, I think, at the moment. And
no, it's too late, Max.
Is it too late?
Okay. It's out there now. You can't take it back.
My apologies. And Daniel says David Duns-Rabona was for Birmingham City against Villa in the derby. I'll never forget it. Says down the Birmingham.
Because I remember Steve Bruce was managing him at the time, and I don't think Steve Bruce has ever managed Blackburn.
No. I mean, he must have done at some point, but anyway, my apologies for that too. Tom Clayton, our newsreader, will be changing jobs and covering the Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi after that. It's the final race of the season. Is it really, Tom? That whole season has completely passed me by. So what do I need to know ahead of this race?
Well, you need to know that by the end of the day, we could have an 11th British Formula One world champion in Lando Norris.
Nigel Mansell?
No, not quite. Sadly, you're a couple of years out for that. But no, Lando Norris, he's been on really good form. He's been the best driver by sort of a long stretch towards the end of this season. He's made it on to 7 race wins. Remarkably, there's a 3-way title fight going into this race, and all 3 of the drivers, they have 7 race wins on the season. So what's interesting is if Lando Norris finishes off the podium, finishes 4th, and Max Verstappen wins, Max Verstappen will win the World Championship on what is effectively Formula One goal difference on countback on number of race wins. The simple matter of it is if Lando Norris finishes on the podium today, he will win the World Championship. There's been accusations of favouritism against his teammate, I should say. Basically, that means that McLaren have they've said all season long that they're favouring both drivers equally, but we're favouring Lando Norris a little bit more. He's a bit more favourable in that situation.
All drivers are equal, but some are more equal than others.
Yeah, there might have been a book written about that one day.
Yeah.
But no, Lando, he's come in some good situations previously, which has put him in championship positions today.
Okay, and who's the third? Him, Verstappen, and who?
Him, Verstappen, and Oscar Piastri, who was probably been the best driver for the first half of the season, but dropped off with a poor run of form. He's probably the outsider's bet today. He's 16 points behind and needs a good result today.
Quickly, Baz.
Oh, no, I was just going to ask. Like Max, the Formula One season has more or less passed me by. But the one thing I am aware of, Lewis Hamilton seems to have spent a lot of it doing himself down and saying how terrible he is at driving, which is clearly not true. And then his dog passed away, so he was very sad about that. So is his career sort of over, or what's going on with Lewis?
I think his career winning world championships is over. I think he still has a lot to offer to Formula One. Look, he is the one who brings in the most fans. He's the one he's the biggest name by far and away. But when you're a 7-time world champion driving for Ferrari, and there's only been 2 of those in history, him and Michael Schumacher, and you're starting this race down in 17th place, you know, it's understandable that he's having some self-doubts because he spent such a long time before.
Where's the other Ferrari?
The other Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, is starting 5th. So it's a mixture of Ferrari not having a great car and also him not getting the most out of that. He's not had a great time since the Abu Dhabi decider in 2021, which was nice and controversial against Max Verstappen, if you remember that one. But yeah, I think he's just had a bad year. I think he's waiting to see what next year's car's like and if it's no good. And if he himself is no good, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he rides off into the sunset and says, you know what, I've got 7 world championships. Statistically, he's the greatest driver of Formula One history. You know, maybe it's time to pack it in.
Thank you, Tom. Enjoy the race. We'll do some cricket next, disappointingly.
Corinthian Casuals are a team in the Combined Counties League Premier Division South. Despite that, they're one of the most important clubs in world football. Here's why. The club was formed in 1939 as the result of a merger between Corinthians FC and Casuals FC. Now, Corinthians FC were founded in the late 1800s when the FA's top brass were absolutely sick of getting pumped by Scotland every time they played them. As a result, Nicholas Lane Jackson set up an amateur side which would bring in the best players who could all play for the national side. And it worked. It wasn't long before England were dominating the international fixtures they played, and it was largely down to Corinthians. In fact, in 1894 and 1895, they played consecutive games where Corinthians provided the entire England 11. But the thing is, the players refused to play professional football. They didn't believe in it. They wanted to spread the values of sportsmanship, competition, and played for the love of the game. It also helped most of the players were Oxbridge graduates who didn't need the money, but instead of entering league and cup competitions, they played exhibition football and toured the world, bringing the beautiful game with them. Think of it like the Harlem Globetrotters of football, and it was this which spread the game throughout the world and made it so popular. Most famously, in 1910, they travelled to Brazil, and the locals in Sao Paulo were so impressed they started their own team under the same name. Yes, the same Corinthians who won the FIFA Club World Cup in 2021, one of the biggest clubs in Brazil.
Heard there in the news, Barry, because you were, I presume, using the facilities, that the port in the Isle of Wight has been blocked by bananas that have all fallen out of a boat. But did wonder if fish like bananas, because actually of all the fruit to get wet, they're incredibly disappointing, aren't they? So I just wonder if... Do you want me to carry on with this or not? Do you want me to talk to Mark Butcher about the Ashes?
Well, I was going to ask you, I mean, I'm quite happy to talk about bananas being wet or dry and whether or not fish like them. I presume different fish like different things. Different fish have different appetites. So I'd imagine some fish like banana and other fish
You can't generalise, can you?
Yeah, I mean, some people, I don't mind a banana. If I never had one again, it wouldn't cost me a thought.
Anyway, it is the warm-up on TalkSport. Max and Barry with you until 1:30. Brought to you with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Just a few interesting tweets. Barney Ronay from The Guardian saying it's undeniably epic that England have spent years on selections on who will be good in Australia, resting players, millions on contracts, developing a weird cult ethos, all for these Ashes. And now that construct has been casually annihilated by a decent Aussie B team. Danny Kelly, our very own, says, serious thought, the word Bazball has become a distraction, a smokescreen for what we're really watching. Average bowling, reckless batting, terrible catching. It doesn't need a funky label. Call it what it is, rank bad cricket. Let's talk to Mark Butcher. Always delighted to talk to you, Butch. Slightly disappointed this is why we're talking to you, but that's the way it goes. How are you?
Tends to be the way it goes on Australian tours, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's been pretty horrendous, actually. I think this performance from day one might just be about the worst that I can remember from this side. I know Perth was a disaster. However, the conditions there, and we can talk about preparation and all the rest of it as to part of the reason for that. But conditions there do sometimes, and quite often, in fact, lead to matches that end very, very quickly, although not quite as quickly as 2 days. So you can write that one off, maybe. But I think this one, on what was a very, very good pitch, the batting in the first innings, Joe Root's side was pretty horrendous. And we were probably 120 to 150 runs short on first innings, then proceeded to bowl the biggest shower of bananas in the bay on day two. And from there on in, the game was over. Dropped 5 catches in the process as well. I mean, it was pretty horrible from a team that has prided itself on kind of perhaps having setbacks and coming back stronger. But I think the main takeaway is that you've had sort of hard-nosed pragmatism from a stand-in team, really, stand-in bowling attack, stand-in captain, stand-in opener in Australia, proving that sort of freewheeling aggression and very little discipline is no match for that sort of hard-nosed, basic cricket skills when it comes to an Ashes contest, and that's basically where the whole thing has gone wrong.
But if you look, because I watched the whole day's play today, and Stokes and Jacks did bat brilliantly. Like they were so patient. They realised the game situation and they acted on it. And it seems you're sort of watching it going, why didn't someone do this in Perth? Like, what's the problem? Like a kind of like you can't like this kind of, unless it's going really badly, we can't dig in type thing.
Why didn't it happen in the first innings? You know, Mitchell Starc. So after the first test in Perth, right, Mitchell Starc was clearly the main threat. No Cummins, no Hazelwood, and we played him as though he was kind of like a second teamer having a bit of a trial. Basically, decided we were going to try and throw the kitchen sink at him every time he got the ball, and you figured that perhaps they might have learnt that lesson for Brisbane when Australia's attack was even weaker than it had been in Perth, with them making the extraordinary decision to leave out Nathan Lyon. And every time Starc got the ball in his hand again, they just decided to throw the kitchen sink at him. Now, I've seen Mitchell Starc bowl 20 times better than he did in the first innings at Brisbane, and we donated him sort of 4 top order wickets by flinging our hands at wide balls without moving our feet. I mean, it was horrendous. And Joe Root stood tall on the burning deck in the innings, and somehow we managed to get to 330 because of that last wicket partnership. But it was so woefully under par first innings that we were always going to be under the pump when we bowled. And then when we bowled with so little discipline, so little control. It was a little bit embarrassing. Well, not a little bit. It was a lot embarrassing, really, for a team that is much vaunted in terms of its sort of skill and talent and all the rest of it. It was horrendous.
Mark, Ben Stokes says, and sort of it says as if it's a badge of honour, this England team, we run towards danger. Running towards danger is generally not a good idea. You know, if someone's threatening you with a knife, you run away. Or if they've got a gun, you run away. Someone's head is going to have to roll over this. Will it be his? Will it be McCullum's? Will it be Rob Key's? Or will it just carry on as you were?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine that things will change, whether that be with the coach, probably not with the captain, possibly with Rob Key, simply because the emphasis on every selection decision, every performance, every sort of extra bit of aggression that's gone into the style of play over the last 2.5 years has been with this assignment in mind. And so, therefore, if this assignment goes back, and Australia are only going to have a better team the next time we play against them. They 3 of their champion bowlers all missing from this Test match, and we still go down in spectacular fashion, and they're only going to get better. So that the fear is that it could be another 5-0 from here, and that's coming from somebody who had not expectations of us winning the Ashes down there, but putting up a really, really strong fight, and that the idea that this team wouldn't win a Test match down there was faintly ridiculous. But after this performance against that Australian team, you're struggling to come up with any different conclusion. So yeah, I mean, there will be changes, and there always is after an Ashes series. Every 4 years we go through this cycle, and people often, pay the price with their jobs at the end of them.
Ben Stokes spoke to TNT and said, to me it seems a constant theme at the moment that when the game is in a pressure moment, Australia keeps outdoing us in those moments. They say Australia isn't the place for weak men. We're definitely not weak, but we need to find something because we're 2-0 down now. We've got 3 more games to go and we need to sort it. Can you see? And I mean, he makes a good point. We dropped 5 catches. The 2 catches today, like Steve Smith's catch and actually Alex Carey, who kept up beautifully. When you think about, Jamie Smith drops that one, even when Archer was bowling terribly and the rest of the attack were. Archer got one to, Travis had to nick it and we dropped that catch. And in these moments, we weren't at it. But can you see England doing anything differently in Adelaide?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I hope they do. But they tend to double down, don't they, on the back of defeats? They kind of, the idea is you run towards danger and you go even harder. I mean, I would have hoped that they'd have watched. Australia made 500 in their first innings, right, without a single batter making 100. A lot of the emphasis was around, will Joe Root score 100 on this tour? I remember, I don't know if it was you guys asked me last week, but I said, well, I think he will because he's too good not to. But I don't see that as being the most important thing. I see it as being can a top 6 or 7 function to score enough runs to win you Test matches. And it doesn't matter if one guy scores millions, but if they all contribute and you make enough runs, as Australia did to make 500 in this Test match, then you give your bowlers a chance to win you a Test. If they're capable of landing the ball in the same place more than twice every 10 overs. It's massively disappointing. It really is. And the issue for me is not that there isn't enough talent there or enough will or enough sort of hard work, but it's just kind of being hard-nosed enough to understand that Test match cricket isn't basically a turkey shoot every time you go out and play. That sometimes you have to absorb, sometimes you have to sit in. It's about playing the situation in front of you rather than having an overarching philosophy about this is the way that we're going to play come hell or high water, because it just doesn't. It works. You can bully poor teams like that, but against a team who have an incredibly proud record in the Ashes at home, against a team full of hard-nosed cricketers, you're not going to push them around. You've got to play the game the way that it's meant to be played.
And actually, Australia proved that today because they didn't get a wicket for a session and a half, and yet Nisa, who isn't a top line bowler, kept putting the ball in the same place over and over again, and he eventually got the edge, right?
Yeah, as Boland did, in the early part of the innings too. I mean, and that's why I keep going back to just basics of long form cricket, that you actually have to have the skill and the patience and the discipline to keep doing the right thing over and over and over again. Keep like a drop of water on a stone. You just keep doing it until you wear it out. And that's basically what Australia adhered to. And then you see the brilliance of the catching and all the rest of it. And more often than not, teams that are playing well in Test match cricket, teams that are playing badly, that the brilliance comes in that environment. People are very, very switched on. They're at the job in hand, and when those chances come, they don't go begging. But a team that is kind of all over the place and not entirely sure of what it's doing, and is not bowling consistently, and is making the same error over and over again with the bat, you'll find that they tend to miss chances and drop easy catches. I know that because I was on tours where that happened.
Yeah,
and Mark,
but having said that, on those tours, I don't. People weren't sort of talking about us as teams that were going to go down there and give the Aussies a damn good pasting because we have the skill and the ability in our camp to do so. We put that one to bed, haven't we?
Yeah. We spoke about Nisa there. From Nisa to Noosa, the England team are going there for a few days, R&R. There's talk of a golf holiday. I guess they deserve a few days off after that test. But the optics aren't going to be good, are they? And they're going to get slaughtered for it. As people will say, this is not a serious cricket team.
Yeah, well, Boycott said that, and there have been moments during this Test match and the last one when you tend to agree with him. It's been a running theme throughout the McCullum-Stokes captaincy about what this team does in its spare time, and so I guess they're consistent. But you're right, the optics are not particularly good, and then all eyes will go to, okay, well, what happens in the lead up to this Test? Again, there's no match to go and play. There's no, some of the bowlers looked leggy in that first innings. It was hot, brutally hot on day 2 in Brisbane. And one of the things about playing practice matches is it's not necessarily that people will go out there and score runs and bags of wickets, but you do tend to spend a bit of time out in the field, in the environment and in the heat, which gives you that little bit of hardness when it comes down to it. But that's not what's going to be happening. And that's entirely up to them. Their jobs kind of rest on what happens at the end of every series, but particularly this one. And if at the end of it all it goes terribly wrong, then people are going to be right to point at the preparation, point at what they've done in terms of getting themselves ready for the next assignment. And that'll all go against them in the column that says, change is coming.
But there's always hope. 3 to go. You never know. We'll chat.
There was hope after the first one. Yeah, after watching that, I'm as deflated as because after the first one, you saw, just how uncomfortable the Australian batting lineup was against the bowling attack. And as I've said, I've been in Perth and watched games enough from Perth to know that can happen on that pitch, because that is wildly different from anything that you see anywhere else in the world. However, this one was an absolute belter, and honestly, we got outdone in that second innings by a guy who wouldn't have got picked for England. Bowls 80 miles an hour, keeper standing up. It's the absolute antithesis of everything that sort of the McCullum-Stokes key axis have wanted for winning matches in Australia, and yet that's the thing that kind of put the final nail in our coffin this time round, and that's pretty damn embarrassing for everybody.
Cheers, Butch.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Mark Butcher there. We'll get him on again when we win the next Test and the one after that and the one after. But it's not looking great, isn't it? Jeff says, Banana 11, Steve McBanana Man, Barry Bannon, Idrissa Banana Gay. Jeff, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Let's go to the WSL. King Power. Tyler Morris is watching Leicester Man City. Hey, Tyler.
Hey there, it's Leicester City 0, Manchester City 0. 20 minutes gone at King Power Stadium. Every stat in favour of Manchester City apart from the scoreline. Shaw has had 2 chances, big chances, both from 8 yards out. 1 into the side netting with the left foot, 1 wide with the right foot. Everything but a goal for Manchester City so far as they look to go 6 points top at the WSL at the end of the afternoon. 0-0.
You are listening to the warm-up on TalkSport. Footballer Game is next. Good afternoon. It's the warm-up on TalkSport. Max and Barry with you until 1:30. Brought to you with the good people of Travis Perkins. Doing all matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Let's play the footballer game. Joining us for it today, Perry Groves. Welcome, Perry.
Hello, Max. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. You're at Craven Cottage. What's coming up in your excellent programme?
Yeah, we've got myself, Hugh, and the Hofmeister Bear at Craven Cottage. We've got Scott Minto, Jake Robson down at Brighton West Ham. Updates from all of this second round FA Cup ties. Updates from all of the WSL games. Look back at yesterday's matches. A bit of Men in Black, and we're going to have a coming together for the sake of Mo Salah. It's called Mo's Moans. So I'm a bit worried about him. It might be like the ties. The pressure on his ties is a bit, sort of low, or he needs his pillars sort of like plumped up a little bit. So we're just a little bit worried about him.
Okay, let's play the footballer game. Reece joins us for it. Hey, Reece.
Good afternoon.
Out of 10, how are you?
We'll go for a 6. Why not?
Okay, let's play.
Our first footballer began his career at Tottenham Hotspur in 1997, staying until 2001, not scoring in any of his 58 appearances. He then went on to Charlton, where he stayed between 2001 and 2007, scoring 4 goals in 187, before spending a season at Middlesbrough in 07-08, scoring once in 35. He was then off to Aston Villa between 2008 and 2011, where he scored... Nope, where he scored 75, before finishing his career at QPR between 2011 and 2014, scoring twice in 24. No.
So how many did he score for Villa? You said 75.
100 and... Oh, no. Did I say 75? No, 2 in 75.
2 in 75. Okay. I should know this. Come on. It's a centre-back, isn't it? Anthony Gardner.
Nope.
Colin Calderwood.
Nope. He got 7 England caps in 2005.
Ugo Ehio?
No.
When he was playing for Charlton?
Yes.
And Middlesbrough. And Villa.
Yes. QPR as well.
No, but all his caps are in 05 for England.
All his caps are in 05 when he was at Charlton, yes.
Clive Mendonca.
He's a fullback, if that helps.
Danny Mills.
No.
Oh, yes. Chris Powell.
No.
No.
I have not got a clue.
Fullback. Who's a fullback? Played for England. From Charlton. Played for Charlton as a fullback. Right back or left? No, we don't need clues. It's not how this game works.
I was going to say.
We have his initials.
No.
No. If we're here all night, we're here all night.
That'd be a clue, wouldn't it?
Come on, Max. Come on. Gotta get this. Fullback. Charlton fullback.
Borough Villa.
And it's not Danny Mills.
Nope.
He played 7 times for England in 2000. What was happening in 2005?
We lost 1-0 to Northern Ireland in the last qualifier.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He started that game.
I don't know. That doesn't help me.
I know. I'm a fountain of useless knowledge.
Richard Rufus. God.
No, not Richard Rufus.
Oh, come on, Yellow 5000. Luke Young.
It is
Luke Young, everybody. Yes,
Luke
there
Young.
we are.
Yellow 5000.
Yeah, Saxon 71. Oh, RF Investments got it first. So our apologies to Luke Young.
I have no recollection of a footballer called Luke Young.
Poor Luke Young.
At all.
Here we go.
I'm sorry,
Here we
Luke.
go.
He was obviously good.
I had more chance
Yeah, no recollection of him. Can't picture him in my mind's eye. It's not like, oh, Luke Young.
Yeah.
Nothing. I got nothing.
Max nil, Barry nil, Perry nil, RF Investments 1. For all your investments, RF Investments. Player 2, here we go.
Well, that's the easy one out of the way. So, our next footballer began his career at Wycombe Wanderers in the year 2000, staying until 2006, scoring 19 in 157. This earned him a move to Cardiff City between 06 and 09, scoring 12 in 119. He then moved on to Birmingham between 2009 and 2011, scoring twice in 76, before moving on to Wolves between 2011 and 2015, scoring twice in 69. He was loaned to Sheffield United in the 13-14 season, not scoring in any of his 17 games, spending the second half on loan at West Ham, where he didn't score in any of his 4 appearances. He then went to Charlton in 2015, where he didn't score, Pune City in 2015, where he didn't score, Then back to Charlton between 2016 and 17, not scoring in his 6 appearances before finishing his career at Bromley between 2017 and 2019, scoring twice in 52.
Wow. Have we ever had one that none of us have? Have we ever had a game when we've got none?
We may have one today.
Ooh, Wickham Cardiff.
A Wickham legend of the early 2000s. Let me cast my mind back. Who played for Wickham?
When was it Wolves again?
He was at Wolves between 2011 and 2015, scoring twice in 69, was loaned out to Sheffield Wednesday and West Ham.
Carl Henry.
No.
Bournemouth. Birmingham.
What was the club between the 2 stints at Charlton?
Wolves. Hang on. Pune City in India and back to Charlton. And then, Pune City in Charlton, basically. Pune City in India.
Does that help you?
No.
Roger Johnson.
It is Roger Johnson.
Okay, so
I do at least remember Roger Johnson.
Yeah. Max nil, Perry nil, Barry nil, Ross 1, and RF Investments 1. This gentleman is an embarrassment. This is the worst we have ever done.
This is like England and Australia.
Exactly. Do you know what we're doing? We're taking the heat off McCullum and Stokes. That's what we're doing right now. We'll be on the back pages. Absolute shambles.
Have we ever been We've never been whitewashed, have we?
No, we're going to be whitewashed by the listeners. Here we go. Come on, focus, everybody.
Radio history.
It doesn't matter who gets the point. Here we go. Player 3.
Our final footballer began his career at Derby County in the year 2000, staying until 2007, not scoring in any of his 74 games. He also took in a loan at Burnley during that time in the 05-06 season, where he played just the once and didn't score, and a loan to Oldham, where he did play 16 times but did not score. He was then at Sheffield Wednesday between 2007 and 2010, where he didn't score in any of his 136 appearances. Back to Burnley between 2010 and 2011.
Pressman.
Nope, where he played 114 times and, again, didn't score. Was then
Burnley?
Yes, Burnley, 2010-2013. He then went to Derby in 2013, where he stayed until 2017, not scoring in any of his 96 games. Once again loaned out, this time to Stoke City in the 16-17 season, where he didn't score in 15. Made a move to Stoke permanent in 2017, where he stayed for just the one season, not scoring in any of his 16 games, before finishing his career between 2018 and 2022, where he did not play or score for Manchester United.
Oh no. Grant.
Yes.
Lee Grant.
It is Lee Grant.
Lee Grant.
Oh, yes. Well done, boys.
There we go. Some pride back.
We did it together. We did it. We're a team. It was the first time ever.
By the way,
he's manager
He's the current Huddersfield Town manager.
Huddersfield manager, yeah.
Wow.
Crikey.
Well,
I wouldn't have got that if you hadn't got... Well, you got more.
Listen, for one footballer game moment, we were a team together, and we just about did it. We salvaged some pride out of nothing.
Very little.
Out of nothing. Cheers, Perry. Have a good show, mate.
Cheers, boys.
So Sunday session after us, Game Day Live, all the reports, everything as it goes in, etc., etc. You know the drill. It's an excellent programme. Max and Barry with you until 1:30. We'll do some more Mo Salah next. TalkSport has teamed up with Pitch Experiences to bring you an all-out VIP experience at the PDC World Darts Championships at Ali Pali the 23rd of December. You and three mates could be living it large with platinum seats, fine dining, a complimentary bar, exclusive access to the 501 Lounge with Russ the Voice Bray, straight to your prime table for the best view in the house as the darts drama unfolds. For an unforgettable Ali Pali Christmas, here's how to enter. You text the word darts to 83338. Text costs £2 plus your standard network rate. You can call 0343 421 7508. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 18th of December. If your phone then rings, answer it. 18 plus. UK residents only. Your chance to win. Text the word darts to 83338. Now it is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. I like Matt saying company mad. Dan. It's true company man, says Paul. Is Barry. Luke Young was a guest on Drive a couple of weeks ago. Jim says, great show as usual, guys. Strangely, no analysis of the game of the season so far. Mouth-watering table-topping clash. Celtic versus Hearts. And that is big. And is that Wilfred Nancy's first game in charge of Celtic? That's some way to start, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Yeah. You mouthed to speak, Barry, and then you didn't speak.
No, I was. You asked if it was his first game in charge, and I think it is, but I'm not certain enough to say it is.
Right, fair enough. No, I think it is, and it is a massive game at the top of the table. So thank you, Jim, for alluding us to that. Latest scores in the WSL: Leicester City is goalless, Brighton 1-up at London City Lionesses, Man United West Ham goalless Spurs versus Villa. Chelsea Everton kicks off at 2:30. Let's talk to Jim Boardman, a Liverpool fan, broadcaster, writer, joins us now. Hey, Jim, you good?
I'm not bad, thanks. It's all very quiet with Liverpool at the minute, isn't
it? What did you make then of the Mo Salah? I mean, outburst, because as Barry said, it was sort of very mild. He said it in sort of a calm way. So outburst feels the wrong thing, but perhaps it is the right way to describe it.
Yeah, I think it feels like an outburst because it sort of, well, I wouldn't say it came out of the blue because you kind of felt he was going to react sooner or later to being on the bench 3 times. But yeah, it felt a little bit more calculated rather than a sudden outburst, didn't it? You know, he was calm, he knew what he was going to say. And I think, you know, I get where he's coming from because I think everyone at the club must be frustrated right now. And, you know, certainly as fans, we're wondering whether other players need to be dropped rather than being kind of automatic first choices in the team, you know, and you know, things just aren't working out at the moment. Everyone's looking for an answer, and Mo feels like someone's decided he's the problem, and the answer is to freeze him out. And obviously, you're not going to like that. And I do wonder whether how many other players are feeling in a similar way about the situation at the minute, but how many can actually, you know, safely stand in the mix zone like that and come out with stuff like this. You know, a lot of them maybe that's a bit too much of a risk for them to do that, but Mo clearly thinks it was worth taking that risk.
Yeah, I mean, but do you not think he shouldn't be doing that?
Yeah, I think it's mixed feelings, really. You know, I mean, Liverpool's a club that likes to keep things in-house. You know, you handle it internally. You know, I'm sure there could have been a way of him going airing his grievances somewhere else. But then at the same time, if you feel like you're being frozen out, I mean, he's talking about this feeling that he's been thrown under the bus and that he's wondering if the club are trying to sell him. If he's had some wind that's actually got some truth in it, then, you know, you've got to handle it the best you can. So I kind of understand him looking after himself. But you know, it kind of distracts really from the main problem at Liverpool at the moment, which is, you know, what to do about the manager, you know. And I think a lot of fans are starting to come to the conclusion that it's time that Slot moved on, whether not everyone's in agreement with that yet, and no one's happy that they're having to even talk about it. But by Mo coming along and doing this, it kind of distracts away from that a little bit. And if anything, maybe is going to give Slot some more support that he maybe wouldn't have had.
Do you think Salah has a case in suggesting that he is being scapegoated for Liverpool's shortcomings? I don't necessarily, but he is on the bench there looking out at other underperforming players who are getting picked week in, week out.
Yeah, I think you look at Liverpool for the last however long it is, it feels like forever, how badly they've been playing. And every week you'll hear Slot talk about how difficult that kind of team is to play against. He'll say it after the match and he'll say it in the press conference before the next match. And then lo and behold, Liverpool make it look very difficult to play against those teams. And week by week, nothing gets changed. He kind of plays with the same formation, the same personnel, unless injury forces him to change someone. up until a couple of weeks ago when Salah was the one to miss out, or even a week ago, sorry. And I think maybe that's why he's feeling like he's being scapegoated, because when you look at it, it's kind of the only real change that the manager's made during this horrible spell.
I have kind of given Liverpool a complete pass this season because of Diogo Jota and the impact that must have on a dressing room, and even new players coming in, because yes, they may not have known him, but they're coming into a totally different environment than they would have expected, and I just don't think we can underestimate that impact. So and for me there, I would include Slot in that. I think this must be an incredibly difficult situation to deal with, and it doesn't just, even if the news cycle moves fast and we are all impatient, and we are not touched by this as much because we are distant from it. So I would be really surprised if I don't know. I'm surprised that you think that the groundswell is that it's probably time for Slot to go.
Yeah, I think something Mo said yesterday as well was about how he's earned more respect, what he's done over the years, and I think that's one thing that's rankled with fans, is he's talking a bit like he doesn't need to fight for his place, he should just have it. If that's what he means, that's totally the wrong thing to say. No one deserves the shirt, and it doesn't matter what you've done in previous years. That's what gets you a nice corner of the museum, or you get you listed in Legends features and stuff like that. What matters about getting you placed in the team now is what you're doing now, and it's the same with the manager. I think that's what people are they've sort of given you more leeway. Mo gets more leeway, the manager gets more leeway because of last season, and people are factoring in the situation with Jota, which obviously hits everyone. But I think the issue is that this is the problem that Slot's facing, and he doesn't seem to have answers to deal with it. Is anyone working with the players? Have they brought a psychologist type person in to come and sit with them and help them? There just doesn't seem to be anything being done just to ease things along, and that's the worry I think for Liverpool fans, is the longer this goes on. Liverpool are only sort of almost in touching distance of the Champions League places because everyone else is messing up, and the worry for us is that sooner or later they're all going to stop messing up and Liverpool are going to be stuck where they are, and well out of that.
If it is Salah's last, if the Brighton game is the last time he's at Liverpool, I agree with you. Reputation counts for nothing in football, right? You just, if you're not good enough at the time, and I don't think he's playing very well, he's right to say others aren't. But if it is his last game, does it? In the immediate term, it tarnishes his legacy. But in the long term, it probably won't make any difference, will it? You'll still look back and be like, he was one of the best players to ever play for Liverpool, actually.
Yeah, and I think anytime a Liverpool player's left the club, it's hard for them, and it's been going on since Shankly was manager, Paisley was manager. There comes a time when the club says, right, you're not right for us anymore. Let's, you can go and get old somewhere else, kind of thing. And so it's always going to be difficult. But yeah, I think this little moment now, this bit of a hiccup, I think people will understand it. Time's a great healer and all the rest of it, and he will. His name's on so many records for the club now. He's broken so many, and he's an ambitious player, and he's won things. He certainly helped us win the league last season, and that kind of stuff never gets forgotten. So yeah, as much as this is difficult now and it's awkward what's happened, it just points to more turmoil maybe at the club. It needs sorting, it needs addressing, and then we can all move on from it. It does feel like this is it for Salah, but it may also be that this is it for Slot as well. We'll wait and see, obviously, but things need to change, and if the outside hope is that maybe this gives everyone the kick they need at the moment and gets things back on the right track.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, Jim. So Slot already had plenty of problems. Now he has a whole lot more. It doesn't seem feasible that he can pick Salah for the interim Brighton games. Then he's off to AFCON. Can you see a situation after Christmas where Salah stays and Slot goes, or where both of them stay?
Yeah, it feels like the January window's the key thing, isn't it? And with him being away in the African Nations Cup and all the rest of it, can he get a transfer somewhere else? Because if he doesn't get one tied up in the winter, then he's going to be here under his contract at least till the end of the season. But yeah, I can certainly see it happening. That personally, I think the club should already be looking for another manager. At least looking, if not actually sort of going out and making the contact, getting ready in case that does need to happen. And, then it's down to that new manager, isn't it? And maybe what Liverpool need at the moment is someone with a bit more discipline, a bit more anger. Maybe Mo should have been absolutely roasted for this and told off for it. Maybe it shouldn't have got to this stage. It feels like he's just been, not really had any information about why it's happening. And, it's a difficult situation, but I could definitely see a situation where both of them are gone in the new year, never mind one.
Jim, Thanks for coming on, pal. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim.
Yes. See you.
Jim Borman there from the Anfield Index. And they'll do more on this.
I'm surprised.
Sunday session.
Surprised, but I'd be very. I would be shocked if Arne Slot got sacked. What seems like the first sign of adversity.
I think winning the title
winning
the title should give you grace for a season, shouldn't it? I mean,
well, his detractors claim he just happened to be there, but it was really Jurgen Klopp who won the title last season.
But he was there.
No, I'm not one of his detractors.
Yeah.
So,
but that would be my reply to a detractor: is he was there, and actually he had, he was ego-free enough to not mess with everything that had been built at Liverpool. Then it's hard to integrate lots of new players. I think that Jota thing is a massive factor, and look, PSG weren't great this time last season, and then they turned it around and they won the Champions League. So, they could still have a brilliant season, Liverpool. It is possible. There are lots of good players there. But I agree with you. I'm surprised that there is that feeling there, but maybe there is. We'll do some West Ham next. They must be looking at Liverpool going, God, you want to sack your manager? This is ridiculous. They go to Brighton later. Will Pugh, a friend of the show, will join us. Team news from the Amex in just a second. Before that, let's get half-time from the King Power and the WSL, Leicester Brighton. And I've completely lost who is at the King Power now. My huge apologies.
Leicester.
No,
Manchester
City. I know they are, but Tyler Morris.
Oh, sorry.
Just my apologies, Tyler. It should be etched in my. It should be etched in my mind, Tyler. You have my.
That's showbiz, Tyler.
That's the way.
Well, it hasn't quite been showbiz in terms of the scoreline because it's Leicester City 0, Manchester City 0, but plenty of chances for the visitors who are looking to extend their lead at the top of the WSL to 6 points. Midema has tested Leipzig twice, forcing the German goalkeeper into 2 big saves. Shaw could have had a perfect hat-trick, chances falling on the left foot, the right foot and the header, all narrowly off target. And closing in on half-time, 3 minutes of stoppage time to play. It's Leicester 0, Manchester City 0.
Thank you, Tyler. This is how you get a nemesis, Barry. This is now Tyler Morris will have it in his mind to take all that is mine and beyond, not just
everything.
Yeah, everything. My wife, my house,
I think he
my
might
children.
be overreacting slightly, unless Tyler is extremely precious.
He holds a grudge. Famously, Tyler Morris holds a grudge. That's it. There's 1 goal so far. Brighton 1 up at London City. Otherwise, Man United, West Ham, and Spurs Villa both goalless. Chelsea Everton kicks off at 2:30. The Amex Brighton versus West Ham. Let's get the team news from Jake Robson.
Changes by Fabian Hertzler from the Brighton side that blew a 2-goal lead in that crazy game here against Villa in midweek. Danny Welbeck returns for the injured Zimas, with Ruter coming in at number 10 for Gruder, who drops to the bench. So it's Verbruggen in goal, Wiefer, Van Hecke, Dunk and Kadioglu in defence. Baliba and Gomez in front of them in midfield. You then got Minte, Ruter and De Kuyper behind the main man, Danny Welbeck, up top for West Ham. And it's 4 changes by Nuno from the 1-1 draw at Old Trafford on Thursday. Kilman, Paqueta, Rodriguez and Somerville all start. So it means no Callum Wilson. He's on the bench, along with Magassa, Potts and Souček. So we think it's going to be a back 5, therefore, back 3, depending on how you look at it. Areola starts in goal. And then Wan-Bissaka, Kilman, Mavropanos, Todibo and Diouf the back 5. Rodriguez, Fernandez and Paqueta just behind Bowen and Somerville up top. Kick-off at 2 o'clock, Brighton v West Ham.
Let's talk to Will Pugh, host of We Are West Ham podcast, journalist at The Sun as well. Hey, Will.
Hey, Max. How's it going? I must say I was surprised to get the nod this week, because normally you only call me when West Ham are at their lowest ebb imaginable and we're doing all right. But then I remembered we've only beaten Brighton once in our last 16 meetings and it all made sense.
Do you know what? I just presumed you were at a low ebb. I can't. It wasn't. It's just not enough research. In the way that I presumed Everton are 15th and they're 5th, I just presumed it's still terrible. So things are looking up, are they? Well, this is great to hear.
Well, I mean, we had a decent result at Manchester United in the week. Decent point there. Obviously, at Liverpool, but then unbeaten in 3 before that. A couple of wins. Not terrible. Still in the relegation zone, of course. But, not as bad as it was earlier in the season, but still terrible.
Yeah, well, I didn't see that Manchester United game. I've no idea whether it was 2 points dropped or 1 gained, but... What I was going to ask, what out of 10, what is the current level of fume of West Ham fans?
I would say at the moment it's reasonably low, sort of gunning. Obviously, given that the default amount of fume among West Ham fans is usually about a 6 anyway. I'd say. Yeah, I'd say for considering what our fan base are usually like, I'd say it's probably about a 5 or a 6 at the moment, I guess, which is pretty reasonable.
Are you happy with the team selection that we just heard?
No, absolutely not.
What's wrong with
I'm really annoyed that Lucas Paqueta straight back in the team after his petulance at Liverpool. I thought that was pathetic, and I think a lot of fans sort of that was their last straw, really, and would be quite happy for him to go in January. Nuno obviously publicly backing him, bringing him straight back in. Guido Rodriguez hasn't done a single good thing in a West Ham shirt since he signed. Magassa was really good the other night. Potts has been good. I'm a big fan of Thomas Souček. I guess it's a fitness thing, a game so soon after that game on Thursday. But it didn't fill me with hope. And like I say, our record against Brighton, not amazing anyway, so...
I love how you came on all chipper about how good it is.
We'll drag you down, don't worry about that.
Well, it just confirms you're pretty terrible and you're furious with the team that are being put out at the Amex. So what, you bite our hands off for a point right now, do you?
Oh, big time. Yeah, I think so. I think, honestly, the run recently has been pretty good. We do look a bit more like a normal football team again. Nuno, I think, after some weird experimenting early on, has kind of sort of got an idea of his system and the players who are going to perform for him. Like I said, I think those selections today are more sort of fitness based, I assume. But yeah, I would definitely take a point. Although obviously with Leeds' decent run recently, we really do need a win to get out the bottom three.
Callum Wilson scored some goals and great. I mean, he's on the bench, isn't he? And clearly that may be a fitness thing as well. It was a delight to see him. He'd scored 2 goals in a game. I forget against who, and they were both really brilliant, taken really early, like proper centre forward finishes. I don't think I remember a West Ham centre forward doing that since Tony Cottee.
No, Bournemouth away that was. Yeah, it's one of those. I think when he signed, lots of West Ham fans rolled their eyes and thought, "Oh, classic sort of West Ham signing, player with fitness issues coming towards the end of his career." But he's actually been sort of, but very good. I think Nuno didn't fancy him, like first of all, but when he's come in, he's done okay. Sort of. Obviously, he scored the goals. Without that, his sort of general link-up play and the way he gets involved, I think, has been better than a few fans were expecting. Again, not sort of the sort of quality number 9 front man that we were hoping we were getting with Nicholas Füllkrug, and that we'd really like to be a bit further up the table. But yeah, you can't really complain. He's sort of done a good enough job and scored a few when he has been involved.
And not my joke, but someone tweeted me to say, did West Ham fans think they only signed half a Krug and not a full Krug, given what he's done so far? But
Come on, Barry, not that funny, man.
No, I liked it. I really liked it. But when he's on it, he looks great, Nicholas Füllkrug, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those. I vowed I never would again after. I think he's something like the 906th striker we've signed under David Sullivan's reign. And I vowed that I would never again get excited about a number 9 signing for West Ham. I assumed Mikel Antonio would be our centre forward till he was 45. I'd just sort of come to terms with that. And then we signed Füllkrug, 25 Germany caps, I think, former Borussia Dortmund player. You think, right, this is finally we've cracked it. And yeah, yet another one on the conveyor belt of centre forwards. No doubt he'll go to Ajax or something and score about 45 for them next year and do really well in the Champions League. But just like Sebastian Haller did, Scamacca's gone on to do some half decent stuff. Yeah, we're just never going to have a decent number 9, I don't think.
Oh, well, it's okay. One day it could happen, Will. I don't know. Well, enjoy the game, Will, and I hope you feel considerably worse than when we started this conversation. Good man, Will Pugh there from the Sun, host of the We Are West Ham podcast as well. It is Max and Barry, brought to you with Travis Perkins. Do what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. We'll do some Fulham and we'll do all the other stuff with Marcus Speller from the Football Ramble in just a second.
Corinthian Casuals are a team in the Combined Counties League Premier Division South. Despite that, they're one of the most important clubs in world football. Here's why. The club was formed in 1939 as the result of a merger between Corinthians FC and Casuals FC. Now, Corinthians FC were founded in the late 1800s when the FA's top brass were absolutely sick of getting pumped by Scotland every time they played them. As a result, Nicholas Lane Jackson set up an amateur side which would bring in the best players who could all play for the national side. And it worked. It wasn't long before England were dominating the international fixtures they played, and it was largely down to Corinthians. In fact, in 1894 and 1895, they played consecutive games where Corinthians provided the entire England 11. But the thing is, the players refused to play professional football. They didn't believe in it. They wanted to spread the values of sportsmanship, competition, and played for the love of the game. It also helped most of the players were Oxbridge graduates who didn't need the money, but instead of entering league and cup competitions, they played exhibition football and toured the world, bringing the beautiful game with them. Think of it like the Harlem Globetrotters of football, and it was this which spread the game throughout the world and made it so popular. Most famously, in 1910, they travelled to Brazil, and the locals in Sao Paulo were so impressed they started their own team under the same name. Yes, the same Corinthians who won the FIFA Club World Cup in 2021, one of the biggest clubs in Brazil.
Good afternoon, you're listening to the world's biggest sports radio station, TalkSport. It is the warm-up. Max Rushden and Barry Glendenning here until 1:30. Guess the attendance coming up with Justin Morehouse in a little bit. It's all brought to you with the good people of Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Let's look ahead to this afternoon's Premier League games and talk about whatever Marcus Speller wants to talk about. There's lots, isn't there? There's the World Cup draw, there's Salah, there's the cricket if he wants to. Marcus from the Football Ramble, welcome.
Thank you very much, Max. Pleasure to be in your award-winning company.
Ah,
yes.
Well, you know.
I bet I know what Marcus doesn't want to talk about.
If I didn't want to talk about losing awards to you boys, then we wouldn't have much to talk about, would we, Barry?
It's very kind of you to bring it up. And thank you to the Football Supporters Association and to everyone who voted. But we can't cross the streams. We're not allowed. That doesn't exist in this world, Marcus.
Of course. Forgive me. How naughty of me to say.
Shall we start then, Fulham Palace? Because I sort of mocked it as a Super Sunday. You know, it doesn't jump off the page. But actually, like Fulham, you know, that City game was great. In you know, Josh King and Jaquazi, you got some. I don't know. Fulham might be as exciting as I think they've been for a while.
Yeah, I mean that was certainly there was a lot of excitement in that second half against Man City. I mean, what would it be, 6th versus 15th? I mean, if that's not a Super Sunday, I don't know what is, quite frankly. Fulham have struggled a bit to score goals this season, so I hope they haven't used them all up against Man City, because ultimately they didn't get anything out of the game, which was very frustrating. But it did show that Samuel Chukwueze is perhaps one they may think of getting on a permanent if he carries on like this. Because he was scintillating against Manchester City when he came on. He was good against Spurs the other week as well.
Yeah.
Provided the assist for Raul Jimenez against Sunderland. So there are magic in that man's boots, I tell you. Lovely, lovely footballer to watch. He's got his goals. The way he can dribble as well. There's a touch of the old-fashioned dribblers about him. So if you take Kevin, for example, one of the other attacking options that Fulham have, great skill, all about the pace. Whereas Chukwueze, beautiful footballer. So I think he may well start. I think he's done enough to do that against Palace this afternoon. But Palace, a team, with built on a bit of a stingy defence. They don't like to give away too many themselves and don't score that many, but they're going well. So Fulham have got to be a little bit wary that, yes, they've been doing okay this season and might have had a few more points on the board. But, if West Ham were to get something at Brighton, Fulham again, you don't want to be, as I say, glancing over your shoulder as we go into the Christmas period. So they've got to be on the front foot today, and let's hope they are in a very rainy West London.
What do Fulham fans want, Marcus?
Hummus.
Dessert? Yeah, I was going to say, which course are you talking about? I think people are very snippy.
Hummus isn't posh anymore, Barry. I don't think hummus is posh anymore.
Okay.
I think it depends where you are. I think there's a lot of people who may feel...
1089. Is hummus posh? Yeah. Let us know. There we go.
You know what I would recommend, though, if you're a bit fed up or you're done with hummus, then baba ganoush or mutabal, as they call it. That is that's the real stuff.
I find it a bit smoky, the baba ganoush. Like I prefer just a normal aubergine dip.
This shows we are literally jumping the shark. Well, no, we're not.
This is what Fulham fans want. They want to chat about condiments and all sorts of things. Mid-table obscurity is not to be sniffed at down at Craven Cottage, as it's not to be sniffed at. I think are a lot of or a handful of Premier League teams. I would say. I think. After the start to the season Fulham have in terms of lack of points on the board, get back into that creamy mid-table area and then see what you can do and build for the last, the third, or dare I even suggest second half of the season. To try and challenge and have a realistic go for those European spots would be great. But I think a lot of Fulham fans are quite realistic. I mean, you look at those teams. Okay, Sunderland are in there and Palace, fair enough, and Everton. But when all's said and done, when it all comes down to it, you look at the sides who finished in the top 8 last season. It's very difficult to try and usurp any of them. So I think what Fulham would like to see, because last season they had a record points tally in the Premier League era. So I think getting back into mid-table would be the start, not sort of having to have that caveat of, we don't want to be in a relegation battle, in a few months' time, and then see if you can kick on and maybe try and outplay themselves and try and look up the table and maybe think about nabbing a European spot. But it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, I agree. And is everything okay off the pitch at Fulham? Like there is definitely, there has been, quite a lot of discontent. I don't know the levels of, it's not West Ham levels, I don't think, but there is sort of discontent with ticket prices, etc.
Yeah, some of the fans have talked about ticket prices for a while and have been, certain chants and so on have been aimed at certain people there. I think the other thing that is on Fulham fans' mind at the moment is Marco Silva, whether he's going to stay come the end of the season. He's a very ambitious manager, Marco Silva. I think he's excellent, and I think, and I know this sounds ridiculous what I'm about to say, because I'd love him to stay at Fulham for another 5 years or whatever he's been there. But he could manage a bigger side. I would be quite confident of that. I think maybe one or two Spurs fans, Max, might think, did they go for the wrong guy in Frank rather than Silva? But it's early days there, and I don't want to sort of deflect too much on that. But I think Silva, he is umming and ahhing. He's thinking, has he taken this club as far as he can realistically? And also, what transfer dealings are they going to do? They need another forward. Muniz is out until February. Raul Jimenez he's put a big shift in, but you can't rely on him and as maybe getting sort of 12, 15 goals a season. He's got a lot of mileage in those legs of his. Excuse me. So I think that's a sort of a concern. A big talking point among the Fulham faithful is, will Marco Silva stay? I honestly don't know. I think it's 50-50, but I think the club seem to be sort of saying, sign longer and then we'll see what we can do in the January transfer window. And I think Silva might be saying, well, show me what you're going to do in the January transfer window and then maybe I'll stay. So maybe be an ounce of deadlock there at the club between him and between them and Marco Silva, the manager.
What did you make of the World Cup draw? First of all, what did you make of the ceremony before we get to what you made of, say, England's draw?
I mean, it put me right off my hummus, Barry, to be quite honest with you. I thought there was... Words fail me at some point for the ceremony. I never ever thought I'd do this, but I took to social media, as is the way one must do if one is rather miffed and ticked off. And I said, bring back Blatter. I mean, my goodness, Gianni Infantino. I was as pleased as anybody when Blatter and co were, let's say, parted ways with FIFA. But my goodness, Gianni Infantino, barely open mic comedy stuff. That was what he was trying to do. I don't know. So, yeah, he's the dictionary definition of a prat, I think, is Gianni Infantino. So he needs to go.
When he said, I'm trying something. The charge. I'm trying something. Those guys. This is just off me. This is just off me. I've got an idea, guys. Go with me on this. This is going to be special. Yeah. This guy. This is everybody. Yeah. Let me tell you, it's top bands. And then he just said, "Get Americans to go USA, USA, USA." You could just, like every part of me, inside me, let's face it. I don't want to speak for you two, but I've done a lot of bad shows in my life. But I felt 10 feet tall while this was happening.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I'd have them in stitches, if you know what I mean. Like, it was ridiculous, and I think FIFA need some kind of script writer. They need an auto cue, and they need to put what do horses wear, where they you can't see the
blinkers,
but you need to have blinkers on, looking straight down the barrel, read that auto cue, and get off the stage. But anyway. That aside, I thought Donald Trump was a very worthy winner of the Peace Award.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Couldn't even get to the end of that sentence. That was extraordinary, to say the absolute least. But with regards to Robbie Williams and Nicole Scherzinger, I thought they looked great. Robbie can still rock a suit like that. He can still perform at a FIFA event wherever he can find them, so fair play to him. But with regard to the actual draw itself, I thought there's some... Scotland's group was one that stood out for me. World Cup 98 vibes. I thought it was a shame that they couldn't get Norway in there as well, which would have completed it. But yeah, I think is their opening game Haiti?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
and that's exactly the kind of start Scotland would want, because that is a winnable game.
But it's exactly the kind of game they won't win. Because
I know, but I knew you were going to say that, Barry, and I was waiting for someone to say Costa Rica 1990. Although any team that qualified for a 24 World Cup was better than what we thought, but I think Scotland have a chance. But the Brazil game is a lovely old job.
Yeah.
I really,
great.
I do. I think that captures the imagination of people. You want a big glamour tie in there. So pleased that Scotland have got a winnable game. Touch all the Scottish wood you can when you say that for them. Morocco, well, they owe them one for 1998, so try and channel that kind of thing. With regard to England, nice to get Panama again. Harry Kane will be rubbing his hands together, I'm sure, with the sight of them. Croatia. Yeah, Croatia at the World Cup. I know England beat them at the Euros in 2020, but that gives me the shudders. But England are favourites for that group, and because of this odd seeding thing, if they win their group, of course, then they couldn't play one of the other three seeds until the semi-finals. So here I am, people will be going, typical England fan, he's already talking about the semi-finals, make sure you get out the group. But I think England, Ghana's a nice tie. I think you want something a little bit, from an English point of view, a little bit exotic, a little bit different. Playing another European side, okay, fair enough. Just the amount of European teams that are in the draw, that's going to happen. So, okay, Croatia, fair enough. Panama, we've played them recently, but Ghana's a nice one. I'd look forward to that one, and I think Ghana aren't a bad side. We'll see what they're going to do in the tournament soon. So, yeah, I mean, what did you think, Barry? I mean, did you think where Ireland could end up? if they were to do the business? Was that a little a carrot dangled in front of you and Troy Parrott?
I can't even remember who we might get. That's how confident I am that we will.
You saw Peace Prize. I'm out. You woke up when the Village people came on. What happened? Was it a dream?
You were like, God, the Native American's still young, isn't he? It just passes down through the family. As I said that yesterday. It's like, soon, son, this will all be yours. It's like, yeah, but I want to be an accountant. Sorry, get this headdress on. This is what you're going to do for the rest of the time. Dance with these 80-year-olds. Too much. The thing about, I mean, there's no answer to this, but, Gianni and Trump are there, and everybody knows this is ridiculous. But they're doing it with such conviction that, do they believe it? They believe it. And they're just going, guys, I'll give you, but they're backstage going, and I'll give you this Peace Prize. And everyone will be like, they're going to have to clap. And, the world will melt down, but it doesn't matter. But, how do you have no shame? How do you just go to bed and go, I've got no shame?
Well, this is what happens when powerful men are surrounded by other yes men. And they basically need even just a woman in the room to go, what are you doing? Seriously, this is utterly ridiculous. But do you know what it's like? It's like, this is kind of, I don't know, sort of, is this latter stages of Michael Jackson stuff? I've no idea. It's just, no one is there to say, no. That's
guys.
Seriously,
don't need this.
Here's a mirror. Go and have a look at yourself. I think it's beyond that.
Hard one.
Well, when Infantino came out of the Club World Cup to do the presentation with Trump, and obviously Trump stayed on the stage with Chelsea when they won it,
and pocketed a medal,
and the trophy's still in the White House, isn't it? Gianni Infantino wearing those white trainers, I was a bit like, we're at that level, are we? So I suppose when you remember that, when him at his age, the way he is, etc., and then you see this ceremony, not hugely surprising, but like I say, if there is a campaign to bring back Sepp Blatter, I am front and centre of it, and I cannot believe even Jack Warner. Where's he? Do you know what I mean? Where are all the old
Chuck
boys?
Blazer.
Well,
let's have a weekend at Bernie's Chuck Blazer. Let's do that. Anyway, Marcus, always good to chat.
Yes,
good stuff. Enjoy the game this afternoon. Marcus Speller there from the Excellent Football Ramble. Let's go to Tom Clayton. What's happening in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, please, Tom?
We're on to lap number 10 of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Max Verstappen's currently leading from Oscar Piastri in second. Piastri passed Norris for second on the opening lap. So far, everyone's just kind of managing, keeping everything contained. I think this is really going to come alive later in the race. Charles Leclerc is within striking distance of Lando Norris. And of course, if Leclerc goes past Norris, he'll be out of championship position and Max Verstappen will win a fifth in a row. So remember, at this stage, Norris has to finish on the podium if he wants to win his World Championship. Lap number 10, Verstappen leads.
Milton says it's Talk Sport, not Talk Meze. We'll play Guess the Attendance in just a second. Good afternoon. You are listening to Warm Up on TalkSport. Max and Barry with you for 10 more minutes. Playing guest attendance in just a second. Barry made a good point in the WhatsApp group. We should send our love to Kevin Day, friend of the show, excellent on the Price of Football podcast, big Palace fan as well, who had a bit of a nasty injury. Kieran Maguire is pal and co-host on the Price of Football, tweeted about it, and he is recuperating in hospital, and we send you our love, Kev, don't we, Barry?
Absolutely. Get well soon, mate.
Get well soon, yeah. Top man, and we wish you well. Let's play Guess the Attendance. Today, top comedian Justin Morehouse takes on top journalist Barry Glendenning. Welcome, Justin.
Welcome. My thoughts as well with Kevin and his family. Good man.
Yeah.
Good, funny man.
Guy.
Yeah, good man. Great man.
I have a lot of time for that guy. How are you, Justin?
You know what? I'm growing this beard now and getting stopped in the street a lot by kids giving me lists.
Have you got part-time work in any grottos in the Manchester area?
Yeah, I kind of thought, well, if things don't go well for me this year, I've always got that to do this year. No, I don't know what it is. I'm between. I don't know what to do about it. I'm a bit sick of it.
I've got an idea, Justin. I've got an idea. You look quite a lot like, I think it's Fred from Guess Who. I can't remember which one. So if they ever made like the movie,
sorry,
of Guess
just
Who,
had a hack attack.
But like, I think if they made a movie of Guess Who, and I can't really, I'm not sure who. It's sort of a Wes Anderson type Guess Who movie. I think you could play. You're a shoe-in to be Fred from Guess Who. I'll look it up.
How good would a Wes Anderson Guess Who? You may have just stumbled upon something incredible there.
Justin, I don't know if any other Manchester United fan has ever done anything like this, but what you could do is vow to shave your beard.
Yeah.
If United win 5 consecutive matches, because that might take off on social media. And
that guy with the hair, like I saw it at first. Oh, it's kind of a funny thing and everything else. And he's been on his journey and he had the horrible incident at the game and everything. But then you stop and you go, not many teams win 5 in a row.
No, it's quite hard.
He'll be there forever.
It's quite hard.
Hey, we've got to do a 2-minute Guess the Attendance.
Okay.
Here we are. Leeds 3, Liverpool 3 in the Premier League. Anthony Taylor refereed the game. He's from Wythenshawe. But how many were there at Elland Road? Justin.
Everyone hates Anthony Taylor. He supports every team apart from your own. I think it was a full house. And 36,500.
36,501.
36,842 to Ashton Gate. Not including the big old brawl at the end. Edward Duckworth of Vera's son of Lancashire refereed Bristol City 0, Millwall 1. But how many were there at Ashton Gate to watch it all, Barry?
22,200.
22,199.
22,587. Barry, 2 up, top guessing. Here we go to the Cardiff City Stadium. Cardiff 3, Huddersfield 2 in League One. Elliot Bell of Liverpool reffed it. But how many were there to see Cardiff City doing well at the moment in League One win this game against Huddersfield? Justin.
I'm on the precipice here. Been to Cardiff, seen a game there. Don't think it would have been full. 16,000.
That's actually what I would have gone. I'll go 15,999.
16,048. These guys are on fire. 2-1 to Barry Glendenning to Edgeley Park, Stockport now. Stockport 0, Cambridge United 0. Cambridge United go through to the third round of the FA Cup. 5-4 on penalties. Richard Ely of Derby reffed it. But Barry, how many were there at Edgeley Park?
Stockport, Cambridge, FA Cup. 6,200. This obviously is in Justin's back garden.
Yeah, I think they normally get a full house, but I don't think they would have done for the FA Cup because obviously City were at home.
Are you saying the cup has lost its magic, Justin?
No, I'm just saying that after people live in Stockport are Man City fans, so they'd have gone to that. What did you say?
He said 6,200.
6,199.
5,105, 2 apiece, with 10 seconds of the show to go. And we go to the National League. Aldershot 2, Altrincham 1, Alan Dale. Jim Robinson from Neighbours refereed this game, but how many were there to see 2 last-minute goals for the Shots give them the victory at the EBB Stadium at the Recreation Ground? Justin.
2,000. That's big.
2,000.
2001.
1,773 from 2-0 down to 3-2 up, just like the Ashes. It is a portent for the joy that England will bring us in Bazball. Thank you, Justin.
Are you
Thank
Liverpool
Barry.
in disguise?
Love you all. Bye.